Yo, I'm Brendan, and today let's talk about my dividend investing results from the last month. July of 2024 has been an amazing month, and weirdly, almost the exact same amount of dividends as last month. I don't specifically pick out dividends that pay every single month, but we are like less than $1 difference than June. So maybe we're starting to develop a repeatable, dependable actual dividend income here. Let's see. Something else I love is not actually putting money out of my pocket into this account and still seeing it grow. Even though at the end of the video, I'll tell you how I have plans to do that. For this month in July, all I did was get a few referrals from you guys. I want to make sure that's transparent so you know exactly how much money I'm making from Robinhood making these videos. You can see I got one referral and I put that $5 into Johnson & Johnson. I got 6 other referrals. Thank you guys. And I put that $30 into Coca-Cola. So $35 from Robinhood and then $22 from my Robinhood Gold credit card points. The cool thing about that card is right within the app, you can transfer it directly over into your Robinhood investing account. And for me, that's the dividend account. That's what I want to do. And so we had 2,200 points. I put $22 in there. Bada bing, bada boom. We're invested. But you notice on my spreadsheet here that I didn't actually put it in anything yet. It's sitting there in a cash balance because there's a chance we need to pull that money out. I'm also earning 5.5% APY right now because we had a little deposit boost situation where they offered us for 60 days. If we put some more money in there, we'd get a boost on our interest. So I'm going to go ahead and soak up that 5.5% because that's typically not that far off of what I'm making on the dividend portfolio anyway. So while we have high rates, I'll take advantage of it. We'll make hay while the sun's shining. But yesterday, Jerome Powell in his Fed meeting alluded to the fact that they may lower rates as early as their next meeting, which is September. Holy cow, it's August 1st. That means we've only got 30 or 60 days potentially until rates start to get lowered. So it could be time to actually have to decide what to do with our cash. We can't just leave it parked in any old cash sweep program or high yield savings account anymore because odds are those rates are going to go down. So do we pick CDs? Do we pick dividend stocks? We'll talk about that more in future videos, so stay subscribed. But for today, I'm going to show you all my dividend stocks that have paid me a dividend this year, how much money that actually was, how many burritos and race cars that'll buy me, and then what that return looked like. Now let's talk about the actual dividends I received. I got more than I thought. You know, I felt like last month was pretty good because I made $140.63, and I thought, hey, that's a respectable amount of money, right? That's like 14 big burritos. That's like one cheap tire for a very small, slow race car, but that's starting to be a substantial amount of money. Like that almost pays for our phone bill. So a few more months from now, maybe we'll get our phone bill totally paid for via dividends. That'd be really cool. This month, it was eerily similar, $140.33. A handful of these symbols, if you're not familiar with them, are actually individual stocks like Coca-Cola, like a few of these kind of real estate funds. Oh, I just realized I have Coca-Cola in here twice. Oh man, we didn't quite make that much. Error. All right, so we're not quite within 30 cents like we thought, but we're still very, very close. Back to the dividends. The other things I'm invested in are ETFs. So like JEPI, SPHD, SCHD are very, very popular in the dividend community, if you will. And then my only kind of outlier as far as something that's kind of risky and weird is JEPQ, which is where they use kind of advanced trading derivatives and BS like that to try and generate an income. We don't have a ton of money there because I frankly don't trust that kind of thing, but I also just made a video about Yield Max, which is a crazy 20 to 100% dividend paying strategy, if you will. They're this particular like brand of ETFs. So I'll link that video at the end of this one if you want to see that one next. Those things are a lot riskier than the typical stuff that I've chosen here. The potential payoff for that risk is that you might make a crazy return, but also that's far from guaranteed. And so it's a little bit sketchy to look at something like that. If you really want to do it, by all means, do what you want to do. But for me, probably not going to do it. Okay, I might put a little bit of money in there just as an experiment, just so we can go through it together and watch it, but probably not. So now with my corrected spreadsheet, we've had a total dividends this month of $139.57. The return just for this month then is 0.47%. If we extrapolate that particular rate out for the year, 5.63%. So still better than my high yield savings account, technically. A little bit. And then if we take the yearly rate that's by month and we extrapolate that out for all of them that I've ever had for like the last year and a half, and we average those out, then my average yearly rate is 6.6%. So now my little handy dandy chart with my return calculated by month, you can see that's kind of an average month for me here lately. My average is 6.6%. My median is 5.68%. So I'm still happy with that, at least in theory. You know, the percentage number I'm happy with as far as a return goes. It's still not a substantial amount of money enough to where I go, oh yeah, I'm just gonna sit around and do nothing all day because I'm making so much from dividends. We're far from that. But in the meantime, you can see here with my account balance, that our account balance has gone up a lot. And that's because I sold a vehicle that I was driving and bought another one and took all that cash from the sale, replenished our bank account a little bit, so we've got an emergency fund again, and then put a bunch of that in here. So our buying power is $27,115. plus the $1,000 of margin. So I've got a decision to make. We've got this cash sitting here, subject to getting hammered by the Fed whenever they lower rates. And when I say getting hammered, it's not like it's going to go from 5% down to 2% or 1%. It's probably not going to make a jump that big. I mean, they're going to lower it by what? A quarter point or a half a point or something like that. It's not going to be a game-changing amount. But if everything holds steady and their plan continues, then there's a chance they'll continue to lower rates. And so this could be kind of the peak as far as our high yield savings go. And so I might need to decide, does this money go into dividend paying stocks? Do we try and almost double our overall account balance from around 30,000 up to 60,000? Or do I need to try and figure out something else like a CD ladder or some other way to put this money in somewhere that's safe, that's accessible, that makes sense, and it's still going to get us a good return? So I'm still undecided. I wish I could sit here and say, oh, I've got it figured out because I've scoured the internet and I've read 10 books and I've talked to the financial experts and I have the perfect answer for us. I still don't. It might be one of these things where there's a lot of good answers in life. You could put it in a Roth IRA and then still withdraw your contributions later on if you needed the money. You could treat it like an emergency fund. You could set up one big fat CD, buy a 2-year CD at 4.5%, lock that in, plan on the rates going down, hope you don't miss out on a percentage or two, but that's probably pretty safe. You could also do a CD ladder where you buy a bunch of 6-month CDs. So I could put $10,000 in a 6-month CD, wait a month, put another $10,000 in a 6-month CD, and keep doing that in whatever interval I choose. And then as those mature, I could either roll them over or invest them or do something else with them. But that way you're consistently making a return, and then your money is unlocking a chunk at a time so you can redecide what's best for this money right now. What do we need to do with it? Or we could do something totally different. Personally, I'm a little bit torn because typically whenever I invest money, I think if it's in the stock market, I'm not touching it again until we're retired. Like in my mentality, it is locked behind a vault door and I'm not touching it unless we're going to literally be late on a bill or we're going to get our cars repoed or something. So the danger for me to dividend invest this is to say, if I put it in here and I lock it into DGRO and JEPI and whatever, I'm really not going to want to touch it at all because this is like a pristine, perfect little ball of momentum that I want to keep growing and keep growing our income that way. And so to treat that like an emergency fund just kind of hurts me a little bit. But if you have any ideas of what we could do with that money that makes sense, leave me a comment. What are you going to do with your cash? I'm curious. Are you all in on dividend stocks? Are you all in on yield max? Are you doing a CD ladder? Are you just hoping that high yield savings account rates hang on for a while longer? You could do that and you could just get forced out eventually whenever it doesn't make sense. So all could be good options, but we'll have to wait and see. If you're curious about the very risky, very high reward yield max ETFs, that video's here next. Otherwise, the whole dividend playlist of all these months of dividend updates and what I'm doing and what I've learned is here for you to watch. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. Thank you so much to channel members for supporting me directly to make these videos happen. I didn't expect how meaningful that would be to me to have someone who's supporting me every month, but it really, really helps. Like you can do a Patreon page or something else. This is basically YouTube's version of Patreon. But for this to be something I can continue to do, if we had enough people doing this, if we had another 500 or 1,000 people do this, it would literally be life-changing for me. So the few of you who are doing this, you know who you are. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.